Hello everyone. Today I'm going to give presentation on international trade. I will discuss the very basic concepts. Let's start. In my today's plan, I will discuss what is trade, what are the driving forces that trigger us to do international trade, what are the terms buyer we use for buyer and seller, what is the marketplace. Let's start. What is trade? Trade simply means when we exchange goods and services, that is called trade. But we will discuss how many types of trade. There are two types of trade. One is one is local trade, that is also called the national trade. The other one is international trade. Local trade or national trade mean when we exchange goods and services within the border of the country, within the country. For example, I take the example of Pakistan. I have been living in Karachi and I will buy something from Lahore. That is called national or local trade. The other is international trade. What is? When we exchange goods and services across the international borders. For example, I am living in Pakistan and I import Japanese car from Japan. That is two countries involved in this trade. That is called international trade. So, what are the driving forces? What are the driving forces that trigger us to do international trade? Driving forces simply mean the factors that force the country to do trade with the rest of the world. There are four factors. One is low production cost, the other is specialized industries, number three lack or surplus of natural resources, four is consumer taste. Lower production cost is the very key component that trigger the country to do trade. For example, I am going to produce this pencil in my own country, but when I check that my production cost is very high, so I will prefer to buy it from other country rather to produce in my own country. I will buy it from China because they have low production cost, or some other country like we know developing countries or underdeveloped countries can get the labor at a very cheap price. They will have the low production cost. Specialized industries. Every country cannot be specialized in every field of life. So this specialization trigger the country to do trade with the rest of the world. We take the example of Iran, Afghanistan, so Iran carpets are very famous in the countries. They are very specialized in producing the carpets. So other countries prefer to buy carpet from Iran or Afghanistan rather to produce in their own country. Lack or surplus of natural resources. We take the example of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arab. Every country has different kind of natural resources or different or in different amount. For example, in Saudi Arab there is a lot of oil. They are richest country in the natural resource of oil. So uh, after fulfilling the need of the country, Saudi Arab will, if they have surplus in oil, they will sell it to other part of the world. Consumer taste. Consumer taste, nowadays people are very brand conscious. People are very status conscious. We take the example of iPhone. If people want to buy, if people want to hold iPhone, and they are those people are living in Pakistan is not producing iPhone, so this demand factor will enforce Pakistan to import iPhone in their own country. What are the terms we use for buyer and seller in international trade? Simply, the person who is buying the product is called buyer, seller who is selling the product. But in international trade, we, the buyer is called importer. Importer who is buying the good in exchange of some value of money. And the seller is called exporter. Who is exporter? Exporter who is transferring the ownership. Transferring the ownership of goods. Who is transferring the ownership of goods in exchange of or in exchange of some value of money. What is marketplace? Marketplace is the place where we buy and sell the goods and services. What are the types of market? One is physical market. Physical market is one where the buyer and seller interact with each other face to face. For example, our local area market or shopping malls. The other is non-physical market. Non-physical market is one where buyer and seller do not interact with each other face to face. The buyer will order online and the seller will send the goods and services at the doorstep of the buyer. For example, Amazon. Auction market is one where the seller will sell the goods and services to a person who will bid the high. For example, if a person will bid that I will buy for $150, the other said I will buy for $200. The third person said I will buy for $400. The seller will sell to this buyer because he is bidding high. 4 is black market. Black market is one where the illegal products are sold. For example, drugs. Financial market is one where liquid assets are bought and sold. Liquid assets are those that can be easily convertible into cash. For example, bonds, marketable securities. Local market is the same, that is in our area or in our city. Wholesale market is the one where the goods are bought and sold in bulk. Mostly retailer will buy from the wholesaler. If you have any question, you can frankly or easily ask from me. If you like my presentation, please comment, and I will upload many other good presentations for you. So subscribe my channel. Thank you.